Let's see if that works. Ah, there we go. All right, so I should be live now on YouTube in vertical. Should be. Let me check my phone to be safe. Because this is my fault. I want to do like a different kind of content form in different zones, right? So that it wasn't just people watching the same content. I wanted, you know, give different reasons for different platforms. So let me have a look here. Because I can see a feed coming through. It's just weird because the YouTube Studio on PC doesn't show like a vertical form. It shows the horizontal form. So I just want to make sure we're not literally just extra weird looking right now. Wow. That's unavoidable, my face. But, you know, within reason. Hey, there we go. And now if we test. Oh, that does work. Okay, but that is incredibly ugly text. 1 second, chat. Sorry. Just bear with me 1 second. I want to change the settings on this. And then we'll get to the casting after that. So we go white. There's some black right now, which is weird. What's the sizing? Oh, that's very weird. Doesn't even let me change the size. Oh, there we go. Alright, so that should work well. If we save that now. And then if I quickly test this again. Okay, now it's not even working. That's great. Sorry, just give me a sec, guys. Should only take a minute, and then we'll get him to the games. Why you know what? Ah, there we go. It just has a really obnoxious delay for some reason. That is still tiny. Not to size shame it, but it kind of is. So if we go that big, maybe we don't do impact. Maybe we do like bombardier. Yeah, that's much better. Ah, there we go. So I'm just going to keep spamming blah blah myself. I mean, actually, like, realistically, might not even need it on the screen, but whatever, we'll do it that way. So, yeah, basically, I think that is all working A-okay. Yeah, that's, I mean, I'll have to think about that over time, but that's a nice start. So, we are live on YouTube in vertical form, so if you're on your phones, maybe you want that. I've done something quite creative there, actually. And then on PC, or actually, if you just want to flip your phone sideways, definitely on the Twitch side. So we are going to be doing a bunch of recap because there was a hell of a lot of games going on Saturday. I believe the correct term for what Cal started doing that day is insanity. We done 12 hours, and Cal was moaning at what, 10? Amateur. So yeah, I think they went into the very early hours. I got off at like 3 or 4 a.m. What's up, boy? How's it going, buddy? But yeah, I said that we would cast a bunch of series that went uncasted because you wanted to move forward with live. So we got some pretty interesting ones here. We got some Puppy Ball, some B. We got some Dimu, some Beastie, some Louis, a bunch of different things. What is that? What are you linking? Nenny? Don't know what you sent, mate. Ooh, and then I think the other thing is, do we need to... Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that chat box. I don't like how not clear it is. It's weird. Should be much clearer than it is. Whatever, we'll leave it for now. I'll figure it out more thoroughly another time. AI music about AoE 4. Okay.
In the realm of strategy, where empires rise and fall. There's a task that's often forgotten, but it's most crucial of all. Gather resources and building walls, a key to victory. If there's one thing you must never forget, something we agree. Keep on making villages. Every 20 seconds, your empire will fall. Oh, how reckless. Gathering wood, food, and gold. They're the heart of your economy. So
Why?
don't hesitate. Keep on producing, that's the key.
Oh, Jesus.
Rise, expanding far and wide.
It like has a corporate video undertone. You know what I mean? Dude, especially the opening chorus, like that is. Here we go. This part, right? So, okay, dude, I kind of want to steal that and have that as like some sort of sub alert. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, boy. Alright. Anyway. Yeah, we've got something interesting going on, like with the YouTube side. Keep on making villagers every 20 seconds. Yeah, like we've got something interesting going on. I'm wondering, like, we'll see how it works, like on the YouTube side. It's because I know there's some people there. Maybe they'll love it, maybe they won't. But like I said, you know, the thing is, if this YouTube side of things, the clips works very well, and if people are actually clipping there, then I might start uploading it to TikTok, and then we might try and like get it pushed to TikTok as well. But it's really cool. There was a tool created by I forgot his name. Was it Alpha Gaming? I'm trying to remember if it was Alpha Gaming. Let me check. What's the name of the tool? So it was Atom. That was it. Atom, which was made by, I'm trying to remember their names now. Can't believe it was Harris. I think it was Harris. Oh wait, it's over already? Damn, I was really hoping we were gonna have a few more minutes of that. But yeah, so I'm basically using a new little plugin for OBS. What AI did you use this for? Yeah, Suno AI, yeah. He's linked it above Rayfield if you want to check it out. I mean, well done, sir. That was... I'm not going to say it was great, but it wasn't as atrocious as it could have been. So, definitely interesting. And yikes. 1 second. Let me deal with this douche monkey on YouTube. Hey, Ruvik. You look like you're banned, you freaking pleb. Where to begin? Boom, gone. People like, dude, you'd really think someone would have more of a brain when they come to someone's chat. Anyway, so basically the idea is we are going to start off with a bunch of the uncast series from the Warchief Club. I think we're going to begin with B versus Puppy Paw. They did actually like meet up in the later phase of the tournament. Actually, they met up in the best of threes, I believe it was. But I figured we'd check them out. Yeah, I'm going to have to think about this live chat box. I think I'm going to, like, for the time being, maybe remove the YouTube chat box. It's weird that you can basically ban someone and the stupid comment, the little monkey comment, still actually appears. So I'll have to just keep an eye on the YouTube side. I'll check in occasionally with the people talking there. But I will have to hide that box for the time being. So we'll figure that out. What's up? No, Mike. How's it going, buddy? So yeah, like I'll go back and forth basically between talking to YouTube and Twitch. But I've got something really cool. Let me get the game ready. I was working on this last night. A way of actually presenting Age of Empires 4 in horizontal form. Sorry, vertical form. As in, on your phone, how you'd look normally. And I think we actually, because horizontal, look, I'm an idiot. Horizontal is what we're on normally. I think we actually, we may have got something here. So let me just get. If we go to B's account, because he wasn't playing in the Beast of the Hill, right? So we'll be able to catch it there. So 1 second. So we need to go back a little. Femos. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So give me a sec. Let me open the game. Let me switch on the UI, and then we'll toggle over and we'll have a look at this. Because I think we may have found something pretty awesome. Physics was always a tough subject for me. Yep, me too. I say, like, we should have pumped up chest. My belly disagrees and decides gravity is more important. But I keep trying. All right, so let me load the game. And I'm going to... This is really cool. This is really cool. I'm really excited for this. Okay, so... Moment of truth. All right, dude, I actually think that's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do now, hold on a sec, YouTube watchers, your view is not going to change. I'm now quickly going to show what we've done to the Twitch side. Because I am very prude of this. Let me toggle the score so it disappears as well. Let's chat. Let's check this out. I'm going to display capture share so you guys can see. Careful with streamception because it's an ugly thing. Oh, I just realized I need to... Oh, crap. 1 second. I need to unlink. Otherwise, this won't work. So... Alright, let's switch back to casting. Wait, no. There we go. Alright, check this. Does that not look cool? Right? Did we not dunk it? I think we dunked it. That's pretty cool, right? Alright, so and let me relink the display cap. It's going to be important later on when we go for lunch. And then we'll switch back to casting. Alright, so yeah, we've created a cool little overlay so that YouTubers can actually enjoy the info. And then you'll see where things go from there. So... let me drag this back across, and then we'll get into the action. Apparently my encoder is overloaded. Wait a second. Why is the encoder overloaded? Because it should not be. I think we're good now. All right, let me know if it gets laggy at all, and I will reassess, but I think we should be fine here. Let me just resize this. We'll get underway. All right, so it's time for the recap of the Warchief Club. There was a bunch of games going on for Warchief Club number 71. This is a $1,500 one-day event, and I found it criminal that so many games simply couldn't be cast. So we're here to relieve that a little bit. We've got B versus Puppy Paw here. Interestingly enough, these two went on to match up in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. But this was earlier on in the upper bracket. Puppy Paw is going to be on the Ibids, and B is going to be on the Japanese. You know, I actually still think that, you know, the Japanese are a pretty good civ to face off against the Ibids. And they have some very interesting builds. We saw it most clearly in the Elite Classic 2, where Baltoon had this amazing build with the Japanese, where you went fast castle and you opened with Onimusha with Kaburia. I'm curious to see what B's approach is going to be, though. Because B, you know, he definitely likes his archery ranges, but typically when we've been watching B with archery ranges, it's been in the feudal age. Man likes his Yumi a bit too much. So, looking at the scout rotations so far, pretty good yield already for Puppy Paw. That's a little bit of a jackpot, actually. Big grab. Okay, we're definitely going to tweak some settings after this, so I'm just noticing the encoder is overloading. Is this lagging for you guys? This should not be lagging. It's lagging for me. It's laggy? Yeah, okay, 1 second, 1 second. It might be because I'm recording. All right, what I'll try doing, we'll try not recording. We'll see how my PC may have found its limitations. We'll find out. All right, anyway, so a lot of sheep actually coming in from Puppypaw already. We're up to 12 on the other side. 10, not a bad recovery for B. Actually looks like they're going to intercept each other in this area. So there's an opportunity now. Once Puppypaw sees B like this, his move, it should be understandable. He should know his opponent rotated around the back of his base. So now he should just beeline across the other side of the field. And immediately you see that B gives chase. Now, this is an interesting matchup at this position because actually both players can mirror each other's movements and stay out for a very long time. The Ivids can go into the berries. They don't have to rush back home to drop off sheep. And on the flip side, B actually playing as the Japanese, you can very easily go into berries as well. Once you have Tawara, it's a good enough gathering rate to supplement your sheep gathering. When you get into feudal, you upgrade into Takazaiku as well, and all of a sudden you basically have a berry gathering rate that is comparative to gathering from the boar. Yeah, and you're actually seeing how Puppypaw is just holding him hostage now. This is really well played. He understands that he can mirror. Like, for anyone who wants to level up their gameplay and they're playing a berry-based Civ, that means the Abbases, the Iabids, the Delhi, honestly, the Japanese as well. You need to just look at what your opponent is doing, and you need to try and guard part of the map, essentially. You want to try and keep them away from stuff. And by doing this, now Puppypaw, realistically, what he could do is he could check up this area. Unfortunately for him, it looks like all the sheep were taken in this situation, but in the average game, there's probably going to be an extra 3 or 4 sheep here to grab. It's also an interesting thought is, like, with these players, a lot of them understand the exact amount of sheep on a map, and they can roughly gauge whether all sheep are gone already when they see yours and theirs in combination, right? And although some sheep have been dropped off already, you can kind of gauge, like, if your opponent only has, say, 3 sheep and you've got 10, realistically, they probably haven't found enough sheep in this circumstance to have dropped off already because of where you encountered their scout on the right-hand side. Tech up complete. Puppypaw, he went for the Desert Raider, right? Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. The reason why you go Desert Raider here is it forces the Japanese player to invest defenses to protect his gold. So typically in this situation, like what B should be doing is dropping an outpost here now to prevent any sort of raids. In fact, he's got a jackpot spawn for outpost defending. Really, all he needs to do is like drop a single outpost here, and I'd say even just short wall this side, and there's no access. You could even actually think about outposting here and here. That would guard your berries, your farms, and your gold. And that's valuable split, right? Alternatively, you could do like double outpost in the gold, but then you're investing doubly to defend one resource instead of getting complete control of your entire base area. So Puppypaw. Opening with the Desert Raider, we have a few options now, right? Like sometimes we see the Growth Wing. I think this is one of the type of games where I wouldn't be surprised to see the Advancement Wing. Advancement Wing can quite often feel better when you're in matchups where both players can race towards relics. Iabids are always one of those races, but the Japanese are incredibly efficient in doing that as well, right? Like they have access to an immediate Shinto upon age up. What did I say about B, guys? Like, what did I very clearly emphasize that this lad will likely do? Well, he's doing it. He is going in for the archery range immediately and getting into Yumi at the very beginning of the game. I have to chuckle to myself, man. This is such a B maneuver. And then he's going to add in the stable. So like, I do actually rate this as like the best comp to run in Feudal Age. Onobugisha really come into their own in Castle, in my opinion. Yumi and Horseman is a very powerful comp. Incredibly fast moving, counters a lot of combos you go up against. But one Yumi in his own, of course, is not going to work against a Desert Raider. Desert Raiders actually hit hard enough to shred you if you come at them in small groups. But you can see that B is trying to min-max so that he doesn't have to idle out on the gold and the stone. The reason why he's gathering stone right now, for those wondering, is because actually B wants to get into the Daimyo level 1 quickly. It's really important this comp that you get your hands on the Yumi Bannerman because it's a 25% damage increase. Now, what worries me is B, this idea would be great, and I like it if, this is a big if, Puppypaw had been playing a long feudal. The long by Iabid's terms feudal, where you play it for a few minutes, you build 10 to 20 units before aging up. This build by B could have actually been good enough to shut it down, but unfortunately, you can see what Puppypaw is up to. He's not even going to go for the Advancement Wing. This is a full Growth Wing play. And what worries me is, like, B, realistically, what damage can you do here? There's 2 Desert Raiders already. I wouldn't be surprised if Puppypaw adds in an archery range in the middle of his tech up and just starts pumping archers, because archers are actually a reasonable choice for the Iabids. The other thing that really scares me about what B is doing here, that makes me not a big fan, I think this is one of those civs where Yumi really sucks, and one of the #1 reasons is, like, once they do reach Castle Age, and they're gonna reach Castle Age, they get Sultan's Mamluks, and they snowball their archers. One of the issues of having these cheap, very squishy units is yes, they're cheap. Yes, you have a lot of them, but it also means a lot of targets for your opponent to kill quickly. That's before we even get into the idea that this is also a Civ that builds Manjaniques, right? There's many issues with Yuumi in this matchup. So yeah, curious choice being made by B. He has at least got the food pumping from the farms now to keep the stable count going non-stop. But this is like an entirely different issue now. It's a separate affair, right? Outpost is going to go up. Arrow slits are coming in. And Growth Wing is on the way. Only 1 minute and 10 seconds out now.
Now you're my shit.
Thank you for the raid, Matt. Welcome to the people. Thank you, Matt 500. So, one outpost up. Yuumi don't have great range, right? They're just standard 5-tile range. So Arrow Slits is going to be super effective here. And at this point, Puppy Paw, he's already got more than enough gold gathered for what he needs on the opener, which is going to be 2 or 3 Lancers. There's no stopping this right now. B, at this stage, I mean, the Yuumi isn't even here. The dive isn't ready. He hasn't got Siege Engineering either, right? That's a big no-no. If you want to make this work now, you need Siege Engineering already now coming through, first round being built. And you can see this slight delay could end up costing him dearly. Because by the time he's building his first ram, Puppy Paw is already going to be in castle. Now he did at least get the Tawara and the Takazaiku, so we are getting a lot of food income here from the farms, from the berries. But it's a very long way to run, isn't it? And this is meant to be the value of Yuumi in this comp, is at least you can reinforce a lot quicker. It's kind of like an HRE Archers effect. But the difference between you and the HRE is like those initial archers for them hit a lot harder and their economy is a lot better in the opening minutes of the game than what the Japanese are. Japanese scale really quickly into mass, but they need to initiate their economy first, right? They need to get the initial upgrades, they need to get the farms in, they need to reach the berries. It's a very big difference compared to HRE's timings. Well, 4 Lancers already queued up. Double stables. First 2 are going to come out in second. And guys, this is tough because Puppy Paw doesn't actually have anything to be scared of here. B doesn't have a single answer to Lancers. Villagers are going to pull torches here. Puppy Paw will be. Oh, that was not ideal micro. At least find 1 villager. Puppy Paw will look to break away. Nice snipe there by B, getting a few villagers, but at this stage, Puppy Paw's only lost half of his castle age value, right? Like, he's still 4 villagers ahead. And now, with the initial Camel Lancers here, this game gets scary. At this stage, you've got Steeled Arrow, you've got the extra 0.5 damage from your Bannerman Aura. It's not too bad. So you're doing, like, you're not doing 6 damage, you're actually doing 5.5. But the problem here is these Camel Lancers already have 4 armor. If Puppy Paw just drops a Blacksmith and gets Undermesh, he takes no damage. Worse still, these horsemen can't really contest the Camel Lancers either, right? The Camel on knees means you are tickling at this stage, only doing 3 damage per strike. Archery range is now being added in as well. So gold being gathered on the left side, Puppy Paw trying to get a few more units in. He's going to commit to the clash here. Like, you just get rid of the horsemen, and then all of a sudden, the Yuumi is completely forfeit. Scout's going to go down, but that doesn't matter. Remember, Camel Lancers actually have more vision than most heavy cavalry, so being without a scout really isn't a negative for the Ibids. And all of a sudden, B, this army that he's been scaling into, he tries to the Spearman switch. But it feels like it's now very much too late. Puppy Paw already has archers coming out. They aren't vetted up yet, sure. But they don't need to be vetted in a rush. There's not going to be enough of an army here from B to really contest this. Yeah, I find myself chiefly worried by some of the choices made in this game. And B, I don't really think anything was stopping him from just cracking Castle Age. I think he was paranoid about this very aggressive Ibid timing, but that's the cool thing actually about playing Japanese. Is, you know, you go into Mountain Samurai, you go into Onimusha. Well, Onimusha first with Kuburiya, and then follow up Mountain Samurai. It's actually a really solid answer to the Ibid composition, especially when they want to open up with Camel Lancers. The reason why Kuburiya makes it okay is because these Camel Lancers, you just get the Kuburiya whistling arrows go off, you can run away. The Camel Lancers can't easily catch you, but instead, now we've just got the situation where you're neck and neck militarily, but you're an entire age behind, and not a single one of the units you're building can be considered a quality unit here. Top of that, Puppy Paw now playing into the Dervishes. Their Archer upgrade is on the way in. It's not going to be quick here, right? He didn't actually get into the Golden Age 2, which would increase your tech timing from 1 minute to 40 seconds. B, I mean, this is a desperation grab if I've ever seen one. Like, I don't really understand where you think you'll be going with that. Maybe he's like, I can hide the Yuumi inside with the Spearman, and anytime he comes close, I'll kill him. it's kind of a smart choice if that's the logic, because the other outcome here is you try to march in, the archers pick you apart. If you're in a ram, then it forces lancers to commit and spears can brace, and then archers can never do damage. But this is 100% desperation tactic at this point. And now it's going to get much worse. You can already see Puppy Paw is circling around the flanks. Mainly because he doesn't really need much other than archers now to defend. I mean, when you're in a situation where the archer count is higher than Yuumi count, it's already bad. Now it's veteran archers. It can't get much worse than this. Tough game. B. I think the lesson here is Castle Age is your friend. Feudal is your enemy unless you can somehow force the IB player to be present for longer. That just didn't happen in this game. I feel like B, he opened with the archer range. That already kind of confirmed what Puppy Paw needed. That delay in itself ensured that the horsemen were going to be delayed long enough. They wouldn't ever be able to hit the economy of the Ibids before they were ready for the attack. Final stand's going to come out here, but it's Mass Spearmen versus Vet Archers. Meanwhile, Camel Lancers are already killing in the base. And I think we are looking at a very swift stomping here by Puppy Paw. One that B would try for vengeance with later after the lower bracket run, but my goodness, Puppy Paw proving exactly why he's easily a top 4 player in AoE4 right now. Okay, so bit interesting with the latency or encoding issue. I don't know why it's being that way. Because here's the weird thing. Usually I push to YouTube in vertical form as well as Twitch. I guess it's because it's encoding a different style, so maybe that's putting more pressure on, I guess. That would make a lot of sense. What is this? Okay, Stream Manager is using a lot of CPU, actually. I just realized that Twitch Stream Manager is using like almost 10% of CPU power, which is wild. Alright, 1 second. Why is the picture vertical on YouTube? Twitch is blocked at your place of work. So the logic was that I wanted to try and see if we could create a format on YouTube with the vertical form that worked better for people. So basically, like, for example, on a phone right now, this will show up correctly. I guess, like, you can technically watch it on your PC still, and YouTube will show up in kind of a weird format there. Yo, what is up, Hermes Prime? Thank you very much for the sub, my friend. I noticed the hard work you were putting in to help organize BC's tournament yesterday. Well done. Well done with that. So yeah, basically, like, my thought process is I wanted to try experimenting with creating a different form for YouTube than we create for Twitch. So different values, different places, right? As opposed to copy and pasting the same format somewhere else. So we're going to experiment a bit with this. We'll see how it goes. See how it plays out. What did you guys think on the YouTube side? I don't know. I feel most people bailed already. But, like, personally, I think that most of the info was there. I feel like we got a good capture point. We got map. We got all resource information. We got most unit comp information. So, yeah, hopefully that works out nicely. The only concern, obviously, is I now need to figure out what to do with this encoding issue that is being caused by the Twitch side. I'm wondering if there's any smooth, quick solution to that. Because I don't know if you can change the encoder settings on the fly either. I mean, I guess you... Yeah. Actually, no. You could use NVIDIA. That would work. 1 second. Here, let me just need to quickly check this because I need to tweak the settings. Vertical OBS. I wonder if someone's got settings for this already. OBS, NVENC, because I can't remember the numbers you need for this. NVENC, bitrate. think you're meant to have it on CBR. Actually, I think most people do CQP if I remember correctly. No, you need constant. So CBR, for those who don't know, CBR stands for constant bitrate. You need to use constant bitrate when it comes to streaming. If you don't, you get all kinds of weird behaviors. So I think just looking at the bitrate numbers, so I'm trying to remember how much you need to sustain. So it'd be 10 megabits. Wait, that does 10,000 is way too high, right? No, you can't go that high. If you can go 8,000. Okay, so we'll try that. 8,000. Okay, hopefully that's now relieved some strain from the CPU, so we'll be Gucci. But yes, that's why we're trying what we're trying on the YouTube side, just to clarify for people. Okay, sorry, just double checking chat. So, B versus Puppy Paw done. I think next up we'll do maybe Puppy Paw versus Anatand. Let me double check, because I know Puppy Paw played a lot of games. So one or two of these might not be doable. It depends on other people. So Anatand, bless him, has been playing a bunch of free-for-alls, but hopefully he hasn't played too many free-for-alls yet today, and we're still Gucci. So let me have a look. So I think we cast Anatand versus Kiljadi. Wait, what? Okay, these... There we go. Okay, I need to go further back, that's why. God damn, he's had a lot of custom games. So... Oh, come on, dude. Don't tell me the Puppy Paw one isn't accessible. That's kind of infuriating. So the Puppy Paw one isn't accessible, but we have got... We done Anno versus Vortex, right? I'm pretty sure we done Anno versus Vortex. We done so many games on Saturday. I'm trying to remember every one. We did not do Numadon versus Anatand. But I think this was something else. No, that was BC's tournament. Okay, so scrap the Anno idea. But we know that more of B's games are viewable. There was a B versus Cat one that I think we want to have a look at. So give me a second while I open that one up. Okay, yeah. So we got Byzantines versus Abbasids. Five-bin watch before cinema film starts with a child. Dude, just like, that's why you buy Google lenses, right? That's the real reason to buy Google lenses. So you can spend time with the kids and watch the stream. Clearly. God, see, why is Google Lens not sponsoring me? Come on. You have the answers. All right, so let me update this to be... All right, so we're going to try again, and we'll see if we're able to record. Actually, you know, I know what will be causing the problem here. There's a backtrack vertical thing that I think is automatically on. Which is kind of cool. So basically, like on the vertical form that I'm doing for YouTube, there's basically like there's an auto backtrack where it records your previous state, so you can just like catch up. But now everything is lagging like crazy, and I don't know why. That's weird. Turning something off just freaked everything out. 1 second. This is going well. Maybe I need to go back to 2 PC setup. Oh, wow. This is really laggy, actually. I'm just not sure why. Yeah, look. Okay, 1 second. That is so weird about Age of Empires 4. If you Alt-Tab out while it's loading a game, it causes like a memory leak. I don't know why. Anyway. Let's go ahead and hop into this one. Alrighty, one and all, welcome back to for action. It looks like this is going a lot smoother, so it turns out maybe turning off the backtrack did help. Crap. I'm not going to be able to record locally, am I? Oh, this is going to be a painful day. It's going to be a really bloody painful day. I'm trying to think how I get around this. So, I think the difference is that when I'm doing what I'm doing right now, where I'm making a vertical form and a horizontal form, the vertical form has to be re-encoded. The horizontal form, the thing that I was doing, it wasn't re-encoding. It was just using the same footage and sending it twice, so it's more efficient. So the TLDR is, my PC sucks, I need a better PC. Because with this format, recording as well, OBS is using like 50% of my CPU. And that's bad because Age of Empires 4 is a very CPU-intensive game. Anyway, we have got a matchup between the 3D clan members. We've got B versus Cat here. Byzantines versus Abbasids. Now, this is an interesting matchup, actually. We don't really see much of it because Abbasids weren't really shining through until the very end of the tournament in recent ST tournaments, and Byzantines were everywhere to be seen by comparison. My feeling is that Abbasids should have some pretty reasonable timings with the new military wing 2TC builds that can make the game fairly uncomfortable for the Byzantines. But I think Byzantines aren't completely disarmed. Like, their ability to get a very aggressive timing around 5 minutes for the first mercs is very threatening. And I love this build already from B. I think we're looking at a Hippodrome play here. It makes a lot of sense. Playing Grand Winery would be a mistake, because by the time you get Grand Winery, the House of Wisdom is going to be complete on the military wing, which means you're going to have 2 archers and spearmen on their way to your berries. You're likely going to get blocked out of berries before you gather enough resources in that situation to get the mercs out. So instead, by doing this, B is going to have the Hippodrome units to contest the initial military wing units. That'll then have a knock-on effect of stopping Cat from getting a second TC. And then the follow-up mercs are going to be coming in very quickly here, due to the fact that by the time he's teched up, he's already going to have enough to buy his first mercenary contract. I don't think we're going to get any shenanigans on the neutral boast. Then again, if he wanted to, this would be the game. Magadai on one and Sipahi on the other is an absolute jackpot waiting to happen for me. The sheep yield, not great. Looks like he actually got worse of it. I don't think there's really anything left on the map. So yeah, he just kind of lucked out there. There may have been 1-2 sheep. Yep, struggling here. But those are likely to be recovered by Cat. So Cat actually has a lot of food to work with. Be asking, how was my Easter? My Easter wasn't too bad. We done a little Easter egg hunt with my daughter around her cousins. Her first little Easter egg hunt. Her cousin, one of her cousins who's a bit older, was being a bit bratty when they didn't get enough eggs. It was that type of greedy situation where the kid is basically getting ready to bulldoze over a child less than half its age just to get an egg. So I remember there was a distinct moment when my partner was like, "You've got enough eggs already." Oh, dear. Freya's getting good at finding things, though. You point and she goes. You throw a ball and she returns. Oh, my God. My daughter's turning into a pet. Anyway, let's follow the other side, because Cat is already moving over to get the resources for the TC. And what the Okay, this is weird now. So he went berries first, but he didn't actually go for the Hippodrome. He went Grand Winery. This is kind of interesting if you think about it, though, because like the Grand Winery is really greedy, but now you get a lot of inflationary value out of your timing here. Your tech up is going to allow you to immediately start pumping mercs. You're going to need to rush the house, though, because this is military wing. And the military wing units should now already be on the way across the map. That is a hell of a lot of sheep as well. I think the term is bahabadaha. Yeah, not too bad. 15 sheep to 10 on the other side. And remember, by the way, that is actually an accurate kind of counting in that B didn't club sheep straight away. He actually went straight for the berries. So they were both on berries in this game. Grand Winery in a very ambitious location. I think what happened here is B scouted that his 8 stack of berries was right next to him. And like me, seeing something shiny, he couldn't resist, right? So it's very risky what he's done here, but realistically, it's because he knows the Basset player is not going to have a heavy contest here. He's going to want to be going for that second TC, right? Funnily enough, Cat doesn't even try to contest, which I think is a mistake here. You can leave the Spim in here, sure, but the Archer should be over here shooting. Because B right now, you know, he didn't have the Mercenaries. He didn't even have the Merc House. He was going to be heavily delayed. By the time your Archers got here, he's maybe building the Mercenary House. That then gives you 40 seconds of harassment before you have to leave. Golden opportunity missed there by Cat. I think he played this way too defensive. I mean, sure, you're going to get the deer, but here's the fault, guys. Well, like, why did you need 4 people for this? 2 could shove it here to then secure the berry plus the deer pack. Like, that would have been achievable with just 2 spearmen. I feel like this was a bit overkill from Cat. I like the idea of military wing being used in this flexible state, but yeah, I think this is way too early. So he's going to get the push in. Cat is now going to start just messing with B's spawn, because actually B got an absolute cracker of a spawn if you ever want to go for the deer. Double deer stack right on top of each other. But of course, we know B has no intent of doing that. B, for a second, mistakes himself for being the Japanese here. Has got mercs on the way, and it is going to be the Silk Road, so we're getting pressure, pressure, pressure. This is really smart. I love Silk Road. I think Silk Road is actually the go-to be-all right now for the Byzantines. The problem with the Western contract is players quickly realized that the longbow timings and the pace of the longbos meant that you were taking a more defensive format. That's why you saw them so much, is a lot of the time Byzantine players were kiting and they were turtling. But now, Byzantines are the aggro party. Ever since the buffs around the initial mercenary timings, they have an ability to take over the map. And if you're able to move across the map, if you're looking to be out on the map, you'll always be better served by having javelins than having longbows. TTC Cat. I imagine we're looking at a target of Castlage as quickly as possible. It's interesting, though, because they did actually drop an archery range. I feel like that is possibly the worst thing you could have built here. The stables I like a lot more, but the archery range is a big kind of question mark. You are up against Limitane and Javelins, but I think kind of level 1 of that comp is you go Horsemen so you can cut reinforcements, then come up with Archers afterwards. You definitely have the food to go straight for Horsemen, especially when you consider that he's got the second TC out on those berries and the deer. Second group berries being garroted. Dude, B is going to have so many javelins. Going to be at what, 12 jabs before 10 minutes? That's a really strong timing. If he gets into the Steeled Arrow ASAP, which he should with the blacksmiths he built, he gets very scary here because all of a sudden these horsemen are going to be taking 2/3 of the damage from javelins. So not even they are going to feel very tanky. And I think that's one thing that has me a bit worried. If there's something I've really known about Abbasids, Ibids to a certain degree share this same issue with, is blacksmith timings. Ibids are at least better for it because of the castle age timing for blacksmiths. But even that civ doesn't really play it in feudal. And Abbasids, quite often, when they're stuck in this longer feudal, they just don't actually prioritize blacksmith upgrades at all. It's going to cost him dearly. Kara Siphon now being built in the forest. B. Oh, that's Crafty Cat. You actually didn't see this at all, so B is going to get a good hit in. Remember, this is secondary TC, only 2.5k HP. It's not very tanky at all. And I think you can just clown card this realistically. He's probably not going to. I think you could actually like stick some Limitane inside, keep some with the javelins, and that'd probably be the efficient way of doing it. But that's quite a lot of extra micro. And he says, I don't care, KP. I do want the micro. So here we go. Full crew inside the Kyro Siphon. Fires begin. Cat needs to react quickly to this. You need to be careful not to be too quick, though. You went for 1 stables, and you went for it secondary, not first, which means your stable count is actually lower than it should be. Limitane looking scary as well. Undermesh is already in, so these archers don't do much damage at all. The javelins will start trading out with the archers. Villagers looking to be pulled. Good dodge there. Cat worried about running in the fire. And that's exactly the fight that B wanted. A lot of damage being done here. Spear count is at 4, but with the horseman count down to just 2, only 1 in this fight, things are looking pretty grim for a defense for Cat. Especially now that you can go back to clown carring back inside. Another wave comes. Now, funnily enough, B could go up to 2 Cryo Siphons right now, and this would guarantee a kill on this TC. I just don't think you can sustain a repair at that point. You have to remember that Cat has gone for an Archer Horseman comp. That's a lot of wood. So spreading your wood between production, between repairing, and then needing to add in additional production is very difficult to do here. You can see already the price he's paying with all that wood on the back side of the tree line. Third group of Javs is on the way. I mean, I'm pretty sure before he runs out of Grand Winery berries, he can be at 20 Javs at this pacing. This is kind of crazy. my sniper out of 10. Textiles a clutch choice there by Cat. If it wasn't for textiles, you would not be able to repair this whatsoever. Still very difficult though. Little tip for people. If you want to be able to do clown carring efficiently, all you need to do is control group these into different groups, so you can pull them out separately if need be. Tane though. So the Kara Siphon is going to be targeted. Horsemen are going to get stabbed down for this. Second wave of Kara Siphon troopers have arrived. And by Kara Siphon troopers, I mean the ones building this up. That's why the Limitane weren't involved. So it's going to be a temporary retreat, but a lot of repair time, a lot of idle time. I feel like it was worthwhile for B. And now this follow-up Kara Siphon, I think you just go for 2. Double Kara Siphon here will break this TC. It's going to force Cat's hand before he's ready. And we can already see the damage it done to him, right? He's lost a lot of troops defending this. Only 4 archers and 3 horsemen. Can't access the deal on the front side. He's been forced to repair constantly these villages in the area. The only thing that Cat realistically has a lot of right now is actually wood. Oh my god, it's going to be 3 Kara Siphons. Alright, this TC is undefendable. In fact, trying to defend it is probably just going to get you killed here. I mean, Cat has got a 10 eco lead. That's pretty good. It's just, it doesn't feel good enough when you're up against these systems, right? You can see the 4th level assistance coming in soon. It's going to completely gap close the lead you've built. The Matane even get the torches out as well. Javelins. Sniping out a bunch of freebies. Now the villagers, I mean, this is too many jabs, right? Before it was okay. When it was 7, it wasn't enough to kill a textile villager, but 10 will definitely do the job in 1. You're already seeing it. Villager count starting to go down. Cat all of a sudden no longer a 10 eco lead here. Triple Kara Siphon soon to be done with the TC. The villagers have to be pulled here. Horsemen running by, but there's just not enough of them. Javelins are going to trade out with the archers. And villagers, nothing left to protect here. Cat has to retreat to the main, but there's not really much of a main left at this point. He hasn't got any main meal in his base. He hasn't got any sheep to work with, right? I think he's got like 4. Okay, he's got 11. But the issue right now is that you haven't got this spread. You haven't got access to long-term wood either. Cat, this is possibly the worst thing you could be building right now. Spearman shows you just how desperate he is in this game. 3 Kara Siphons is scary, guys. Like, honestly, this can blitz all the production. Oh my god! I mean, that says everything it needs to. Some of that might have been Limitane, but triple Kara Siphon, almost just capable of instantly blitzing production buildings, is enough to convince Cat he needs out of this game. Holy crap, that was crazy. What a powerful tool. Okay. Solid rush. Hell of a rush. I'm wondering... I'm noticing, I don't know. I'm noticing like some, I don't know, a lot of people thinking that the format we're using on YouTube is a mistake. I don't know if there's a way to lock it. I see, like, the ideal situation for YouTube is if they have a way to allow you to show vertical content and horizontal content depending on the viewer perspective. I would bite at that straight away. But I don't think they have that, weirdly enough. Greek Fire OP. It definitely feels like it, right? I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Give it experimental stream, right? So another game done. There were some Kiljadi games. What's up, Faplop? Oh yeah, dude. Kiljadi was an absolute chad in that game where he stayed Feudal Age as HRE, Archers plus Men at Arms to hold back Castle Age Samurai. Nuts. Speaking of Kiljadi, I know he has some interesting games because I think there was one that people originally wanted us to cast before, which was the Fae game. I think we might be able to do that now. Yeah, Byzantines versus Rus. So let me get that game ready. Yeah, so Hymenator, that's what I'm using. So I'm using, it's called Atom. So I'm pushing vertical feeds to YouTube right now. Although some of the people tuning in are complaining that they don't like that it looks like that. And I'm like, well, that's why I recommend the Twitch side. And then this was the whole logic here is for YouTubers who are using their phone, who are looking for content, that they be Gucci. Because we're testing new things out. Because, you know, the reality is the YouTube audience, I want to be able to grow it quicker so that we can get to a point where we're able to make a living off this. And a lot of people do talk about vertical content. So I thought, what if we could come up with a creative way to show vertical content? I'm looking at the stream now, though. And if I'm not mistaken, it is lagging really bad. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, so that's the thing that maybe wasn't made clear. I thought the YouTuber's issue was that it was in vertical. I think it's lagging bad. Might be dual streaming. Yeah, my PC's just not strong enough. 1 second. What we can do... Bandwidth might not be enough? No, because if the bandwidth wasn't enough, we'd have a problem on here as well. And as far as I can tell, no one's had issues watching on Twitch. We're smooth on Twitch. So the issue is elsewhere. It's an encoding issue for sure. I think I'm just going to pause the vertical stream and relaunch it as a thingy stream.